Hello and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are tier ranking everything I read in the third quarter of this year, which believe it or not, I read 47 books. I have no idea how I did it. That is more books than I read in Q1 and Q2 combined, and I give all the credit for that to Herkyed because I've been having so much fun participating in Herkyed. It's really like gamified my reading, and yeah, I've been 100% neglecting all of my other hobbies. I haven't been watching TV or movies, playing video games, crocheting. I've just been reading. Any free second I have, I'm just reading. So let's take a look at everything that I read in Q3. Alrighty, so I have my laptop here, and here is our categories. We have 5-star going all the way down to 1, and then unrated because any memoirs that I read, I don't like giving them a star rating just because it feels kind of weird. So Q3 started July 1st and went until the end of September. And if you've been following my videos, you'll remember that I did a Christmas in July video. So we started July with How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I really wanted to like this one. For the first half, I really was. We have Story and Coal. Story, like storybook, and Coal, like coal black. Yeah, it's cheesy. Story's visiting her great aunt who just broke her hip, and she lives in this Christmas town, and Cole is her aunt's neighbor. And Story gets strong-armed into entering this competition to find out who was the holliest and jolliest of them all. It was kind of ridiculous and fun until the reveal towards the end, which honestly kind of ruined the entire book for me. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. Our next 5 books here are all a collection of Amazon short stories by different authors, and they are called the Under the Mistletoe collection. And the first one was Cruel Winter with You by Allie Hazelwood. Our main character is in a blizzard, and she's made the wise decision to walk a couple of blocks over to her friend's house to get a baking pan, because apparently she needs it right in that moment. And when she gets there, she forgets that her friend is out of town, and her friend's super cute younger brother is actually there pet sitting for her, and they get snowed in together. This one was okay. I ended up giving it 3 stars. Next up was Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey. In this one, we have our main character who's a single mom, and she's moved to this super small town to start over, and she catches the eye of this grumpy, not man of very many words farmer. This one was a little too aggressive alpha male for me. I ended up giving this one 2 stars as well. Our next one is All by My Elf by Olivia Dade. This one was so goofy. Our main character is a adjunct professor at a local community college, and she's trying to make some extra money by driving around this food-shaped vehicle that used to be a Wienermobile and apparently just looks really phallic. When the highway gets shut down for weather, our 2 main characters get to talking, and it's not just the van heater that's keeping everybody warm. This one was a smidge too goofy for me. There was literally a part that it was something along the lines of, when I saw you walk into the library haloed by the fluorescent lights, I knew you were the one for me. And it was very cheesy and a little too much for me. I gave this one 2 stars. Next up was Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandria Bellafleur, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I'm not sure. This one, it was fun. Our main character, she has moved to this small town because she's there packing up her late grandmother's house. But our main character, she's very accident prone, and so she keeps having run-ins with the super steamy fireman. I would have loved to see this as a full novel. It's really fun. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. And the last book for the Under the Mistletoe collection is Only Santa's in the Building by Alexis Daria. In this one, our female main character, she is a comic book illustrator. She's on a crazy deadline. And with all the chaos of everything else that's going on, someone keeps leaving these super cute little handmade ornaments on her door. This one was cute. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Now this next one, Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I fully downloaded it because I was so excited by the pettiness. So in this one, we have our main character who is convinced her boyfriend is going to propose. It's been several years, and she has been working really hard to be the perfect woman for him, to prove that she's very serious and she's wife material. And when she thought he was going to propose, he ends up dumping her, saying that she was just for fun and not serious enough for him. Well, what's the best way to get back at him than to get with her boss and prove that she is serious enough to be with an attorney, and even more so, part owner of the company. I loved the idea of this. I really liked all the healing that our main character went through, but I wasn't really a big fan of the lying by omission and kind of manipulation that our male main character ends up getting put on him from the female main character. So for that reason, this one ended up just being a 4 stars. Now, the next bunch you'll see here are a bunch of books by Elsie Silver. This is when I was doing my author binge video. So first off, we had Powerless. This is the third book in the Chestnut Springs series, and this one is about Jasper, who is the adopted Eaton son, and he is now a NHL superstar, and our female main character is Sloane, the Eaton brothers' cousin. And when Sloane's life takes a major turn, the two of them go on a road trip together, but the problem is now that they're spending so much time together, they're starting to struggle with remembering why they need to just stay friends. This one was cute. I ended up giving it 4 stars. Next up was Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th book in the Chestnut Springs series. This one is one of my favorites. This is about Winter, who's the estranged sister of the female main character in the first book of this series, and she's moved to Chestnut Springs to start over her life and rekindle her relationship with her sister. Winter decides to let loose a little and has a one-night stand with Theo, who's a close friend of her sister's husband, and they end up getting pregnant. Now, I know a lot of people don't like a surprise pregnancy trope, but when it makes sense, I dig it. And this was done so well. I absolutely loved this book. I gave this one 5 stars. Next up is Hopeless. This is the 5th and final book in the Chestnut Springs series, and we have Beau, who's kind of a Chestnut Springs hero, but after his last deployment went sideways, he's now been medically discharged, and he's kind of really struggling with adjusting to civilian life. And he finds himself running into Bailey a lot, and Bailey, she is the daughter of the most hated family in town, and she's been trying to just keep her head down, save up money to be able to move. And so Beau decides he wants to do a little bit of an experiment and see if they can get his good reputation to rub off on her. This one, it was cute. I ended up giving it 4 stars. Next up was Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. I didn't realize it at the time, but the Gold Rush Ranch series actually canonically takes place before the Chestnut Springs series, so I did a little bit of backtracking here. This is the first book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and this one is kind of a employer ex-employee romance, and our female main character, Billy, she is a racehorse trainer. She's been hired by Vaughn, the ranch owner, to turn the racehorses around and get the ranch's reputation back in shape after a bit of a scandal. This one definitely wasn't my favorite. It wasn't bad, but I didn't really enjoy it. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Taking a little break from Elsie Silver, I read Pucking Sweet by Emily Rath. This one is the 3rd book in the Jacksonville Rays series, and this is a male-female polyamorous relationship between 2 of the players and the team's public relations manager. I absolutely loved this one. Very spicy, very sweet. I ate it up. I gave it 5 stars. Next up was All the Broken Places. This was my book club's pick for July, and wow, was it sad. This is the 2nd book to The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, and we're following Gretel, whose father worked closely with Hitler, and the book is jumping back and forth to what was like the years immediately after the war, where Gretel and her mother have fled Germany, and then the other perspective is Gretel when she's like an 80-year-old woman, still kind of dealing with all of that guilt. This one, it was really hard to read at times, led to some really good discussions at my book club. Everyone agreed that the ending was kind of nuts. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Next up was The Answer Is No by Frederick Bachman. This is a short story and the first book I've ever read by him. I read this as a prompt for the first secret prompt for Herkyed. And it was okay. I kind of felt like maybe I was supposed to get more out of it than I did. It was definitely kind of kooky. I ended up giving this one 3 stars as well.
Hello, a quick note here from editing Michaela. I made a little oopsie and I was a silly goose and I got the titles of these next 2 books mixed up. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is actually a photo finish, but I called it The Front Runner. The book I'm talking about, the one that's about Violet, is a photo finish. And then the one after that about Stefan and Mira is The Front Runner. So I got those 2 mixed up. So yeah, just pretend that I'm talking about a photo finish the first time and The Front Runner the second time. That's all. Thank you. Bye.
Jumping back over to Elsie Silver, The Front Runner is the 2nd book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and in this one we have Violet, who's actually the sister of the Eaton brothers, which the Chestnut Springs series is about. And in this one, Violet, she has moved out, she's trying to spread her wings, and she wants to be a horse racing jockey. And she ends up finding out that the ranch that she's currently working at is co-owned by someone she has a bit of history with. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Next Next up was A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. I loved this one. This was the third book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and in this one we're following Stefan Dalka, who up to this point had been kind of painted as like the villain of the series. So it was really interesting to read more about him, and in this one he is working directly with Mira a lot, who is the veterinarian due to a sick foal. And spending all this time together, Mira is starting to realize that maybe Stefan isn't the bad guy everyone is making him out to be. I gave this one 5 stars. Next up was the fourth and final book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, which is A False Start by Elsie Silver. This one is about Nadia, who is Stefan's little sister and Stefan's best friend. And the two of them had a kind of a chance encounter before the two of them realized who each other was. But due to the circumstances, their age difference, their own personal things that they're going through, they need to resist this chemistry that they're feeling. I also gave this one 5 stars. Next up was Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This one canonically takes place after the Chestnut Springs series. And in this one, we have Wes and Skylar. Wes is a countryman. He has a ranch where he works with horses. He lives next door to our main couple from the first book, who have converted a barn to be a recording studio. And Skylar is a pop superstar who is needing a serious break from the press. And after being in the spotlight for so long, she doesn't know who she is anymore. And she's really desperate to just kind of get away from everything. So desperate that she shows up a couple months early, and the renovations to the guest house isn't done yet. And so she ends up getting stashed at Wes's place in his bunkhouse. This one was super sweet. I loved the healing. I also really appreciated how different of a male main character Wes was. I ate this one up. I also gave this one 5 stars. Next up was Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This one is the third book in the Rose Hill series, and in this one we have our female main character whose sister just passed away, leaving behind her young son Milo. Our female main character kind of expects that she will be taking care of him, but suddenly her sister's old landlord appears, saying how her sister left behind some paperwork appointing the landlord as her son's guardian. And the two of them, they definitely don't get off on the right foot, but wanting to preserve as much happiness as possible for Milo, they end up working together. This one was really sweet. I gave this one 4 stars. Now, this final one by Elsie Silver out of the gate, I realized I forgot to read this. This is a novella that is about the grandparents of our characters in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and they're the ones who actually founded Gold Rush Ranch. It was cute, short and sweet. I gave this one 3 stars. Next up was How Freaking Romantic by Emily Harding. This one was one of my Book of the Month books, and in this one we have our female main character who's a law student and is really struggling with the fact that her close friend group is growing apart, especially now that 2 of her friends in that group are getting a divorce. And to make matters worse, the professor that she has been TAing for a while ends up having to leave for medical reasons. And who else would he be replaced by except for the attorney who filed the paperwork for the divorce for one of her friends? And so now she's really feeling kind of like a traitor because she kind of really likes him. I didn't appreciate how hot and cold she was. I kind of felt like she needed to pick one. Either you like the guy or you don't. You can't like him but still be mad at him. I don't know. I wasn't the hugest fan of this one. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Now this next one, The Favorites, was kind of nuts. This is another one of my Book of the Month books, and in this one we're following Katerina, who is a infamous ice dancer, and she is kind of responding to this documentary that's come out for the 10-year anniversary of the incident. So for the majority of the book, you're going through Katerina's perspective of her growing up and everything that happened, and you're in her head, but then at either the beginning or the very end of the chapters, you're getting like flashes of the documentary and you're reading what the people who were interviewed were saying, which would always directly correlate to what Katerina was just talking about. It was really interesting. I was not a big fan of Kat and Heath. I thought they were terrible together and so toxic, but this one was definitely a wild ride, very engaging, and I totally think that they got robbed. I gave this one 3 stars. Next up was another one of my Book of the Month books, and that is Passion Project by London Sperry. I thought this was a super impressive debut novel. Our female main character, Bennett, is living in New York and really struggling with her mental health. Her roommate, trying to help, sets her up on a date, but Bennett ends up bailing at the last second, having a panic attack right before walking in, and ducks into a neighboring restaurant where she proceeds to get wasted. This then leads to her bumping into the guy that she stood up and then confessing that she isn't ready to date. She's really really mentally struggling after the death of her boyfriend. Henry, the guy she stood up, makes her a deal. Once a week, they'll go out and do something, and they're gonna try to find what Bennett is passionate about. I really like this one. I laughed, I cried, I wanted to shake Bennett and tell her to go to therapy. I gave this one 4 stars. Next up was Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. I really wanted to like this one. This is a sapphic soccer romance between the team captain and one of the new players, but I really, really didn't enjoy it. I was just really struggling with one of our main characters. I felt like the author was putting way too much emphasis on the age gap by making the other character super immature, and like even just her dialogue I found very annoying. Being in her head was really annoying. I just really didn't like her. So for this one, I gave this one 2 stars. So we're about at the halfway mark, and I have a feeling that this video is already super, super long. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna call it a day here, and then next week we will jump back in where I will talk about our remaining, what is this, 23? Yeah, our remaining 23 books. So don't forget to subscribe. I post videos every single week, and I will see you guys next week for part 2 of this video where we talk about the rest of the books. Bye.